everyone. Okay, so the prompt was, do Americans still believe that you can make yourself into anything you want to be? I think we do. I think that's the beauty of America is that we have a lot of freedom. That might change soon a little bit, but I think for the most part, you know, we are actually taught, from a very young age that we can do what we want to do. If you work hard and you put in time and effort. And I think, a really important part of growing up in this generation is that there is a lot of equality, you know, gender equality, race equality, socioeconomic equality. There are still those disparities, revolving each of those. But I think for the most part, though, we are taught to be strong, independent people. And if you work hard, you really can, be who you want to be, do what you want to do. But that doesn't come free and it doesn't come easy. And life sort of throws you a lot of things that you need to overcome to get to that goal. But if you can do that, then, then you can do it. What are examples of this rags to riches philosophy in contemporary society? You hear a lot of, dime a dozen stories of people who struggled their whole lives and then they worked and they got through college and they got their degree and now they have great jobs and they really, are doing very successfully, excuse me. I think that's a very standard sort of rags to riches. Um, Poor families who try to make ends meet, but then some they get really lucky and something comes around, and they take advantage of an opportunity. They start to make money, they pick themselves up. Those I think are the rags to riches things in society today. Because, like I said, nothing comes free. There are some people who are lucky, they're privileged, they just sort of get things handed to them. But that's not the majority of our country. That's the 1%. And then you have 99% of the people who have to work really hard for what they have. So those rags to riches stories, but I also think it's dependent on what you deem is rich, what you think your riches are. It might not be monetary, it might be happiness or health or just walking your dog. It's something that it's really determined on what you think is rich for you. Um, Also, but I do think, let's see, what's the next question? What do we value in the self-made man, woman? Um, I think that the difference between sort of how we view ourselves and how society views us, even though I've sort of been talking about society has taught us to be independent people, it's also sort of given us guidelines on who we can be and what we should do. Every day you see media coverage of celebrities, like, excuse me, like they were, or like it's pointed out, Hollywood stars. You see sort of what society has made to be this ideal person, this perfectly rich person, rich in beauty, rich with money, rich with potential, all of this stuff. So I do think that society today kind of does also shape who we are supposed to be, but it's ultimately up to us to figure out who that's going to be. Um, Also, what do we value? Do we value ethical behavior, accomplishments, or celebrity status? I think all of those we definitely value. Some more than others, especially with the way that our government is sort of playing out. We very clearly have a society of we have a country full of people who may or may not see ethical behavior as important. But not talking politics right now. But I think that's also a hard question because, everyone has different views and different values. I do think that society has sort of gotten us to see, or sort of warped what our views should be. in terms of body image and what is success and what does success look like. But for the most part, I think, or the foundation of this country is built on ethical behaviors, built on equality and, fighting for that equality. We've seen it over the history of the United States. It's you fight for what you really see. Do Americans believe that good luck is a shortcut to success? I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that question. Personally, do Americans believe that good luck is a shortcut to success? I don't know if you can really deem that as success. I think, good luck is a definite shortcut. Absolutely. But it depends on like what you view to be successful. I mean, I think if I get lucky, I don't think I've really been super successful. I might have got the job done in a quicker time or really like reached my end goal, but I, determine success and how much effort I put in. You always get out what you put in. And finally, consider Dick's character development at this point. I do think that this is a rags to riches story, but I think that his riches are a little bit different because he keeps so far, he's very much kept true to his morals. Stealing is bad. He's giving back to his community. He hasn't forgotten where he's come from. So I think that this is a rags to riches, but I think in the sense that he has sort of enriched his personal life. He's become this person who he wants to be because that's who he feels comfortable being. That's who he thinks is important for him to be. So, when you see him starting to introduce himself as Dick Hunter, you finally, you see this story of, Ragged Dick is now figured out who he is, who he wants to be, who he thinks is a respectable person. And this isn't, entirely based on what other people see in him, because he's also sticking true to the fact that, he what used to be poor. He sticks his arm out for other people as well, because, it's sort of that pay it forward. He was helped, so now he's helping someone else. He's, putting up a room, or he rents a room, and he lets one of the other bootblacks stay with him, because he was given help. So I do think that this is a rags to riches, but again, kind of the theme of this video for me is, how do you define riches? What is rich for you? Is it monetary? Is it personal growth? So it's just, I think it's depending on what you think what is your riches.